morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of voice for radio. So today, we need to look at the pre-release promos from Evolving Skies. Pre-releases are starting this weekend, and we finally got our look at the pre-release promos, though we've actually known what the forecasts are going to be for a little while now. Now, before we get rolling here, I need to let you know, right, we're going to talk about these and we're going to rank them like we always do. This is probably the worst ranking I've ever done. It has never been so difficult to rank these cards, and I really think you could just mix them up all over the place. I don't think there is a clear, undoubted number one. So please, please, please take all of this with a pinch of salt. It is not an easy thing to figure out. We good? Excellent. Let's get rolling. So in at number 4, though, once again, remember if ever there was a video of these where you were going to ignore the ranking, this would be the one. Galerion Zapdos. And I like Galerion Zapdos. I think the set of 4 cards we've got here are exceptionally good. They are just all a bit similar, and it's hard to pick between them. So Galerion Zapdos is a basic Pokemon, and when you play it from your hand to your bench, you may attach up to 2 fighting energy cards from your hand to it. It's the same ability that we saw on a couple of Prism Stars, which was Giratina for psychic energy, and Darkrai for darkness energy. The thing is, we had never had it for fighting energy before, and now we do. The reason this comes in at 4th place, though, is because we don't have a good way to move the energy around. Like, don't get me wrong, we got stuff like Energy Switch like we've always got, but we don't have a really good bespoke option. And then the attack is just a little bit meh. Free energy, 70 damage plus paralysis. Now, I like the paralysis, although you do have to discard all energy from this Pokemon if you want paralysis, otherwise it's free energy, 80. And you can do this in one turn, because you've got free energy in hand, you bench it with 2 attached, attach the 3rd as your turn attachment, and boom, 70 plus paralysis. It's nice in the late game, but if your opponent's got a switch, they're going to get out of it. And this is going to be best when combined with a reset stamp to 1 or 2. But the problem is that by the time this is legal, reset stamp is going to have rotated out, which means you're not going to be able to do, in standard at least, the whole reset stamp and then paralysis thing. So I like it as a bit of emergency late game paralysis, but I don't think the attack is as good as on the other Pokemon. And for that reason, I put it in at number 4. In at number 3, we've got Galerion Moltres. Now, Galerion Moltres gains an extra 10 HP. We go from 110 to 120. That's quite nice. And we got that same ability, except now it's for Darkness Energy, which means it is literally Darkrai Prism Star. Except it's better than Darkrai Prism Star, because it's not limited to once during your deck, and it's coming in a format with Scoop Up Net. And Scoop Up Net will allow you to pick this up and then reuse it. The really sad thing here is that this is coming out as Weavile rotates. If this was in a format with Weavile, I would probably change my mind and probably put this up at number 1. It would be so good with Weavile. But the fact that it was Weavile lets you move all your darkness energy around the field. In Expanded with Weavile, this is clearly amazing. Or in Expanded with one of those things like Darkrai, that does more damage for each darkness energy that you've got in play. Or Greninja and Zoroark, that does more damage for each darkness energy you've got in play. This would be amazing. In Expanded, this is great. In Standard, you really are missing all the tricks. They are rotating out. If this had been a set or 2 earlier, it would be a significantly more impactful card. I do, however, really, really like the attack here, because for free energy, and again, you can play it down with 2 with the ability attach for turn and go, 20 damage base, plus 50 more for each prize card that your opponent has taken. So late in the game, this could be doing 270 straight out of the blue, but you don't even really need that. If your opponent's taken 4 prizes, this will do 220, which is the magic number you need to get a one-hit KO on Pokemon V. So late in the game, you should be pretty confidently getting one-hit KOs on Pokemon V with a non-V Pokemon. In a Darkness deck, this is a great option. And again, this is why we had to put Zapdos down at number 4. This has a significantly better attack than Zapdos. Now, in at number 3, and I'm sorry, I've got to mix them up, and I know that's a little bit weird, we are going to put Flaffy. I was very close to putting Flaffy number 1. In fact, when I started recording this video, I had Flaffy as number 1. And not for nothing, but we're losing that awesome Okacheke artwork, which makes me very sad. But the thing is, when we get to number 1, it's obviously Galerion Articuno. You've guessed that by context by now. You'll notice that there's a very good reason why that gets up at number 1. The point here is that we've got a reprint of Electric. It's literally a reprint of Electric. Okay, fine. Different Pokemon from which it evolves, and different name, but other than that, it's the same. Same retreat cost, same weakness, it's even got the same attack. And Electric was amazing, and it was absolutely at the center of the format for pretty much the entire time it was legal. So why does Flaffy then not become an absolute slam dunk number 1? And the reason is we are not in the same format as Electric right now. And I worry that Flaffy's going to end up being just a little bit slow. Over at Japanese National Championships, when this was legal, it really did not make much of an impact. And let's not forget that when we hit rotation, Mew will be rotating out, which means Rapid Strike Urshifu is going to be, at least in the short term, completely unchecked, which means that Rapid Strike Urshifu can very quickly take a double KO on 2 of these on the bench. I think that Flaffy is going to end up being a great card, and I hope that Flaffy is going to end up being a great card. And I think there is a huge amount of potential here, and I think it is going to be at the center of a bunch of decks, and I like it enough that I've put it above the other 2 Galarian birds. And it's very close between this and Moltres. But the fact of the matter is, I think there are enough questions that I don't think it deserves to end up being in at number 1. I would love, and I mean love, to be wrong about this, ladies and gentlemen. That would be frankly awesome. So that means that by process of elimination, and because I told you a moment ago, in at number 1, we've got Galerion Articuno. And the main reason why Galerion Articuno comes in at number 1 is because if we look at the decks that are seeing play right now, I feel the most confident that this is just going to slide in and see a bunch of play. Once again, it's got that ability that attaches 2 extra energy when you play it. It is Giratina Prism Star. It's got the exact same ability as Giratina Prism Star, with the caveat that you can put more than 1 in your deck, which is clearly a very good thing, and that it can be reused with Scoop Up Net. So again, although it is Giratina Prism Star, it's also quite a lot better than Giratina Prism Star, which is lovely. Now, the attack here is fine, but it's not as good as the attack on Galerion Moltres. Free energy, discard all psychic, and you do 120 to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Yes, that could be active. Yes, it could be bench. And this is one of the reasons I like this, incidentally, just for the surprise bench KO. If your opponent's taken a bunch of damage and retreated to the bench, trying to force you to have a boss's orders to take a KO, or they've just got some support Pokemon on their bench, something like a Chinchino, whatever, you can get cheeky KOs with this. And I like getting cheeky KOs with this, but I think that is very much a secondary reason to like Galerion Articuno. Shadow Rider Calyrex is a thing. Not only that, but Shadow Rider Calyrex is probably the best deck in the format right now. It is definitely that and Rapid Strike Urshifu 1 and 2. Having said that, Alex Szymanski did win the Players' Cup 4 with Rapid Strike Urshifu, so I don't know, maybe Rapid Strike Urshifu is the best. The point is, it's definitely top 2. And it's got an attack that does 10 damage base, plus 30 more for each psychic energy attached to all of your Pokemon. Which means playing down a Galerion Articuno with a couple of energy attached means you do an extra 60 damage, and I don't really see why Shadow Rider Calyrex decks wouldn't be playing this. because it's extra energy on the field and it's extra damage. Yes, sure, you can still use stuff like Energy Switch to move the energy around the field. That is obviously an option. But the fact of the matter is, this is just so good for just doing that extra damage in Shadow Rider Calyrex decks. And for me, that's enough to put it up at number 1. And maybe Galerion Moltres actually has the better attack. Or maybe Flaffy really is going to live up to its potential and be number 1. I do think Galarian Articuno is number 4 because it's got the worst attack of the birds and the least useful energy at the moment. But all we need is a really good fighting deck that is using that and Energy Switch as a little bit of an engine, and all of a sudden that becomes number 1. I think this is the closest set of 4 pre-release promos we've had, at least since I've started doing these videos, because I have never had this much difficulty ranking them. But the fact of the matter is, there is no Cinderace here. And I'm sorry if that sounds mean, but when we opened Chilling Reign, Cinderace was a clear number 4. Obviously, I opened up 2 pre-release promos. Obviously, they were both Cinderace. Why would they not be? Although the lovely Primal Lugia did trade it for an Inteleon, which is clearly the best. And yes, I made sure that the lovely Primal Lugia was aware how much better Inteleon is, but there's a reason I keep referring to Primal Lugia as a lovely, lovely person. We don't have a Cinderace here. These are all good, and I think we should all be a little bit excited about them. But I'd like to know which of these you want, and I'd like to know which one you are hoping to open when you open your pre-release pack. And I also, and this is a very cool question that I want you all to answer, are you picking up pre-release kits like I am, or are you going to an actual factual pre-release and playing games against people? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.